circle without a human in sight. Walking down that last line there, there was this side of the field. I noticed there was quiet birds at the bottom, and then I looked up and heard the first heard a group behind me, then a pigeon and a jackdaw having a hassle. But they lit up along the line basically in front of me, one after the other, like wolves or something, you know, where you hear them calling and call to the next one, and a message gets spread for quite a long distance, like a series of burning beacons or whatever. But I was thinking about the idea of consciousness that we seem to be quite preoccupied with in various forms. Some people are very much into how different we are from animals in being self-aware, and others are into this idea of a kind of global or group consciousness, collective consciousness of humans. But I think, and then others are into a kind of idea of consciousness, for everything being conscious. It's I mean, it's a quite anthropocentric sort of perversion in a way, in as much as taking our specialty as being the feature that we're best at as an animal, taking that as being the sort of marker for importance or intelligence or advancement. And you know, evolution has there's no progress in a sense involved in only adaptation to environment, and you know, it's change. I mean, we aren't more evolved than any other life form. We're more complex in some ways. Actually, I'm losing my point now. What I was thinking about was, yeah, those birds lining up one after the other to tell me they were aware of each other's noise. They were conscious of each other, and they were conscious of me walking up there. And as I got to the top, there was a load of cows sat down in the field. It was like they'd, and at first I was thinking they're warning each other of my coming, because and this takes place, yeah. But then I thought to myself that as much so they're warning me, they're communicating to me that the cows are there. They connect, you know, everything connecting up. I mean, as you go into the woodland, the mycelium that runs under the forest floor, because it's an interconnected system that can it can be, well, it's the biggest life form on the planet is a mycelium mass in Oregon forest, which is like 6,000 square kilometres or something like that in mass. The biggest life form on the planet by quite some measure, and the way it interconnects and stuff is very much like a brain, and it is able to transport nutrients from you know, 100 yards away if some plant needs it, which is how it answers how certain saplings survive in dark areas where they're not getting sunlight, and nutrition can be transported to where it's needed throughout the forest as a collective whole. And that's I think there's a prejudice against it, isn't there? Against the mycelium and fungi and slugs and stuff. I'll include them as well. But the breakdown, the line between life and death, where the great extinctions that have happened on the planet, we're in the midst of the sixth one at the moment, but previous ones have been caused by asteroids hitting. And it's the mycelium, the fungi that break down the dead and turn it into nutrients. So I just sat there. Dude, come on, get away from me. Let's get away from them. yeah, so everything is integrated. Yeah. What I was going to say about the mycelium was, as I walk through the woods, it recognises it feels the step of my footprint, and reacts to the debris dispersed by it. It is conscious of or responsive to my passing. I'm sure there's a lot of scientists type people who, well, a lot of our twisted morality is dependent on believing that it's only us that are conscious or self-aware. We couldn't farm animals in the way we do without believing that. So we're kind of like committed to it, really, in a way, or some are committed to it in a way for their moral, too dependent on it to allow it as a let's get through, to allow it as an idea. But where I can't see it being right is that it's like saying I think animals are all very similar in the way they work, and perhaps language has given us a step on in consciousness, into self-awareness, and it is about interactivity. It's not, but I find it really difficult to see that Dook, for example, doesn't have quite a similar consciousness to me in some ways. Although I don't think he's quite riddled with guilt, which is probably my background emotion. I'm gonna have to get through here now. Go on then, Duke, let's do it. Go through the brambles. Oh God.